Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning, everybody. Usually don't do these morning things, but uh, there's been a lot of stuff happening in the food stuff. So I figure I'll give a few minutes, see if anybody shows up, and then go ahead and talk about it because food isn't important. Hey, Lake. Hey, Rebecca. How are you doing this morning? Hope everybody's up bright and early, ready to go for the day. Got their coffee ready, even though I don't drink coffee anymore. But I did finally find some blood oranges, so I'll be dehydrating those for my tea here shortly. Actually, I might actually do a video on it. Come to think about it, what I put in it and all that good stuff. But like I said, with attacks on our food, and it's just not the farmers or the private owners or these small farmers, the ones that sell honey and maple syrup and things like that kind of scoot under the radar of the government. Um, a lot of these people are being attacked and thrown in jail, and their their livelihoods taken away from them. Um, just over here in Pennsylvania, uh, Amish community guy sell like every other place sells eggs and milk and meat and cheese and stuff like that. They're going after these people, making it to where they can't make a living or stuff like that. And it's very fishy the way they're doing it too. But um, other than that, there's other attacks on food that's going on right now. Um, did I plant my peas yet? Oh, really? Yeah, up here you don't want to plant things that early. Although this year has been kind of wonky, hasn't it? Hello, Bubble Bibble and Gigi. Good to see you. Um, well, here we got a lake appearing.
Good
Hey,
morning.
Lake.
Good morning. Yeah, it's a lot early for peas here too. Because
Yeah,
once they pop up, they grow and grow and grow.
yeah. If they popped up, well, they're pretty. Well, that's the thing. Now it's like um, not last night, but the night before. It was at midnight. It was 71 degrees, and
Oh
then
wow.
the very next, and then last night it dropped into the 20s.
Yeah, it was warm here.
And you guys got that coming.
Oh no, I woke up this morning and the temperature said it was 20, but felt like 9. So
Yeah,
we were warm for a few days, and then
yeah,
today's as far out as I can see. Today's the last day, as far out as I can see. I'm sure we'll have more, but we're back up in the
mm,
50s tomorrow.
yeah. It's. I don't think we're getting that high today. TH2 didn't tell me what the weather was going to be today.
Yeah,
Um,
I
yeah,
think
yeah, we're hitting 40,
okay. And
but
yesterday you had the
Monday we're going to be in the 70s.
I saw that. Yeah,
Monday, Tuesday, and then it's dropping back down again.
of course. Good
Yeah.
morning, everybody. Ruben, Chris, Mary.
Hey, Mary Luck,
Yeah, peas
Ruben.
here. We plant the peas right outside, so they don't take
Oh
long to
yeah,
come up. Yeah.
yeah. It's too delicate of a plant to try. You could, but they sprout up so fast. You just put the
Right.
seeds in anyway.
Yeah, it's the same thing with the blue lake bush beans. We just push them right into the dirt and they just grow.
Yeah.
Good morning, Joe.
Hey, Joe. Good to see you.
Yeah, the food stuff is whew.
Yeah, this latest thing, I I I talked about it a little bit, um, about the applesauce.
I really
Um,
like applesauce.
uh, I wouldn't touch applesauce right now for unless you want a little lead with your sauce.
Bigfoot makes our applesauce.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's the thing is you almost got to know where this stuff comes from, because even if you buy like at a box store and buy a bunch of apples, where did they get the apples from? Why is there lead getting into these apples?
Yeah. How
Or,
is it?
or yeah,
Is it like through processing or is it through the growing?
yeah,
Because
that's the thing they're leaving out. So it's like,
right.
is it apples that are bad, or is it the way they're making the applesauce? Are they
Well,
using
up
lead
here we
pans
have
to cook it?
right. Up here we have several orchards.
Yeah,
Um, one of which we absolutely love, but there's like three really close. Um, so how we get our apples. But as you're saying, I mean,
mm,
is it in the soil? Because I've been reading, and I know I've sent you some things on it
mm,
where they're testing soil and they're finding things like you just said in the soil.
yeah.
So where is
Eh,
that coming from?
Well, there's a different bit to that too. Is um, the E. coli and the listeria stuff
Right.
that's in the soil.
Yep.
The 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 fact is, most of these farmlands and stuff are setting right next to these places where they grow cows and pigs and stuff. And when I say grow, it's in a
Right.
box basically. And whenever they spray their pins down, it goes down and goes right to the same irrigation that goes into uh, the the produce that we eat.
Hmm.
And that's where a lot of this, like the lettuce and all that stuff.
Right. Yeah, and the kids were getting these levels of lead and chromium levels.
Yeah,
Now, chromium can be good in certain sense. I think it. I don't. I'm not a doctor, so like I know that there was chromium. Is it 6, and then there's like 9 or something like that. I'm not sure of the numbers, but there's certain chromium levels and a certain kind of chromium that can be cancerous to your body. But with lead, take Flint, Michigan. A long time ago, there was a boy
yeah,
who actually was showing signs of like aggression, and he was a normally good kid. And she took him to the doctors and they tested him for lead, and his lead was off the charts.
yeah. And
So that's coming
it
up in
used
those little drinks that the kids have. Those they're like pouch. They're not the pouch drinks, but the pouch applesauce.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. That's the main culprit right now is um, children in 44 states ate tainted applesauce, which came in those little squirt thingies.
yes.
And those are real popular for like toddlers and stuff now.
Yeah. Like your soccer
Um,
mom, you just kind of twist the top off and give it to the kid in the back seat when you're doing your errands after school.
yeah,
Yep. Hey,
yeah.
Gammy.
And this used to be, um, we all remember when our kids are coming up that lead was a big thing. How old is the house that you live in?
Right.
Do you have paint chips and all that? And they would get tested like crazy. And there was things on the commercials and stuff saying, "Is your house this old?" Or because lead is very bad for the
Right.
development of a child.
Yeah. Now, when you buy a house, I mean, over the course of several decades,
The new member to the channel.
Thank you, Gail. I appreciate it. Let me find my little thingy here.
they make you scrape that paint now and repaint before they're even allowed
Yeah,
selling it. Yep.
yeah.
But this thing is
New channel member. Thank you for your support.
Oops, sorry to cut you off there.
okay. I think it's awesome. But this is actually very widespread. So it's in 44 states.
Yep.
Mm-mm-mm.
Yeah, and let me find the how much it was. I just seen it. It was a big amount too. Hundreds of children, extremely. Yeah, it and a lot of these were sold in the grocery stores and dollar stores last year.
Mm,
Um, and which causes brain damage and delays and seizures.
right.
3 million. This is what they recalled. So if it's 3 million, then it's
More.
double that.
Right.
Yeah.
So this past month alone, it was they identified this in the company Carlos. I'm gonna hack this. Aguilera, Aguilera.
Sounds good.
Yeah, yeah. But it's an Ecuadorian company, which doesn't that raise some questions like why are we getting
Yeah.
pouches or apples from? That's weird.
Well, the thing is, we had production of apples in the United States was down the last couple years. They blamed it on the thing that there was no workers to pick the apples and whatnot,
Mm,
and then that's when they outsourced to other areas to get apples because a lot of the apples nowadays there are a lot that are not from the United States.
I guess everybody doesn't have orchards like some
And that
states.
makes no sense um, because we have lots of apples and pears
Yeah,
and plums and peaches and stuff like that. But why have we been outsourcing this to other countries to get
I
our,
don't know.
our tree fruit?
Well, here in this where we're at, like I said, I mean these big orchards supply our grocery stores. Like that orchard's
Yeah,
name is right on the bag when you go to the grocery store, but not everybody's grocery stores are like that. So they ship in Ecuadorian apples made stuff, right?
yeah.
From wherever. Wow.
Um, and the other thing, just to get off the apple bit, is um, this new ultra processed foods. Uh, the stuff that they use, like the sweeteners, artificial flavors and stuff, they're it's causing. Here's a list of obesity, cardiovascular disease, mental health problems, diabetes, and certain forms of cancer. And this is all studies by the smart peoples and whatnot. This is not something I'm making up.
Right. So in your own garden,
Yeah,
some people have natural, not really natural, but it's just kind of in the soil where you live at, possibly for whatever reason that's there. And if you test your soil and you're getting a lot of levels of high levels or even low levels of lead, treating your soil with phosphate, lime, and organic matter can
yeah,
actually solve the problem. So
yeah,
that's like a good thing to know, right?
yeah. And that's the thing. Whenever I get new soil in, I treat the new soil with lime right
Okay.
away. And sometimes, like you can check the pH level of your soil to make sure you don't go too high over, because it's harder to bring it down than it is to bring it up.
Hmm.
But once you have your own soil established and you can make your own compost and because your soil, if you're using raised beds, your soil will go, it'll reduce over the years, so you'll have to replenish it.
I dig deeper. I think we all need to be treated with organic matter. Hey, wildlife. Hi, Crazy Irish. Let alone Pepper. Robert. Oh, it's funny. No, but like a lot of people don't have their compost piles either. And compost pile, natural
Mhm.
composting with like just a simple kitchen. I mean, you got to peel carrots, you peel your potatoes, you eat all that goes into your compost, and something simple as that can help those lead levels go down.
I the powdered kind. Where I usually get my soil, it's usually pretty good. They actually, um, whenever they combine it, and then they have this big field where it's covered with the felt and stuff that go over it so the weeds don't come up, and they lay it out and they let it set in the sun for I don't know how many days, and they scoop it back up and sell it to. Then they sell it. That the sun will kill a lot of anything that would be in there.
Hmm. So your phosphates, would you think that cow manure would be a good phosphate?
Yeah, but again, you have to set for a year or longer, depending on the and that's it. It all depends where you get it. If you get it from somewhere that the cows are setting in their own,
Right,
stuff, and
right,
they're fed uh, steroids and
right.
steroid filled food, and
That's why you'd want a nice green manure, like a green phosphate, the ones
yeah,
that are, yeah, well taken care of, well fed.
yeah. Believe it or not, if you go to one of those cow factories, honey, uh, if you go to what do you want, ornery? If you go to one of those cow factories, it stinks. I mean, you can smell it all over the place. But if you go to a farm that is organic in a way, they eat the grass. You give them grain that's good grain that's not filled with stuff. Their poop doesn't smell. Uh,
No,
that's the thing. The I think the major part of the smell comes from is all that extra junk that they put in this stuff.
right. And it's even better, like when it's crusted over. That way it doesn't smell. Just don't break the crust.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. I remember our um, where my grandpa used to live. We'd go up on the hill and go uh, milk the cows. I never smelt the poop.
No, no, you shouldn't. You shouldn't. And if there are farms around here where it's like woof, but it's actually not the manure, it's actually the silos. So it's the silage inside the silos that stink. Because when those silos get full, they
Yeah,
get pretty rancid. That's usually that really strong, sweet. I say it's a sweet smell. It has a sweetness to it, but there, unless you've ever smelled a silo, you probably won't know the smell. But it can get pretty rancid.
oh yeah.
Yeah. We have a
Uh,
couple of farms like that around here where it's like it's pretty bad sometimes.
and that goes here. Here's another story. U.S. factory farms, and that's that thing I was churn out 940 billion pounds of hazardous manure every year. That's 29% of all the poop
I'm losing
that,
internet, or it
that
was
gets,
you.
huh?
I said I'm watching you on my phone, but my laptop, that's like the second time it's spinned.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's not me.
No, it's not, because I'm watching you from my phone. As I was watching my
Oh,
laptop
okay.
spin, you're still talking. So I just didn't get to hear anything you said. I'm sorry.
Oh, the U.S. factory farms,
Mm-hmm.
same thing. They churn out 940 billion pounds of hazardous manure every year.
Ooh, yuck.
Yep. And that's the thing that gets put in the farms and stuff like that. Um, and what will really get you, um, if you live anywhere uh, close to cities or anything like this, they have where your poop goes into a section and gets cleaned, and that that overfill of that, farmers will pull it in and fill up their big tanks,
Mm,
and they use this for fertilizer in the garden in their fields. So the food that you're eating is
isn't gross.
fertilized by people uh,
Right. Right.
people poop.
It's not clean poop.
Yeah, and
Which,
that's the thing. They run it through to get out all the listeria and all that stuff, but sometimes it's not enough, and it gets sprayed on the fields, and then all of a sudden you get a head of lettuce and get sick, and that's why you're getting sick.
mm. Good morning, Crazy Irish.
Good morning.
Morning, crazy.
Morning. Such a yummy way to wake up in the morning and listen about food.
Well, I mean, poop's important. It can tell you
It
a
is.
lot about a lot of things.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
I mean, they're testing the poop at the, what is it called? Sewage, to find out how many levels of a thingy over the past few years. So they can kind of almost pre-estimate areas that have upticks of certain things, right?
hmm
Through the
Yeah.
sewage, which is so weird.
It is.
And where was this at? And this is the Department of Agriculture that put out this report about 1.9 million farms and ranches that collectively span more than 880 million acres, and this is in 2020 or 2022. A loss of 140,000 operations over 20 million acres since 2017. So it's getting worse with the poop, the animal poops.
Yeah. Let alone Pepper makes a good point too, and how the forever chemical stuff. Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, this there's like 10 different articles on um, all this stuff, and there's a bunch of lab grown meat in United States that they paused because of side effects that the people that test this stuff out are
Right.
having.
Yeah. I wouldn't suggest that kind of food, and that's
No,
disgusting.
And the thing is, they talk about the carbon footprint stuff.
Hmm.
Mhm.
It takes almost 3 times more carbon to
Yes.
make the fake stuff than let the thing grow and do it itself.
That's what they've been fighting on.
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. And that's what they're saying. These people who are fighting against all that, they're saying the same thing that you just said, is that it takes a lot more. They're
Mhm.
they're
3
causing the
times.
problem.
3
Right.
times as much.
Yep.
And when you say the carbon footprint is when you flip on a switch, um, that's your carbon footprint because it takes, um, you know, the energy,
Hmm.
be it coal, propane, or whatever it's to use to get that to use the power. And then when you have to have acres of a ster- uh, um, sterilized factory plant and all the chemicals that get used to clean and it's just a whole that's why they said it's at least 3%, but if or 3 times uh, the amount carbon to create a steak than it is to just let an animal grow and do its thing.
Right. Right. Because I mean, we've been doing this for thousands and thousands. Well, since the
Hmm.
beginning of time.
I do admit that I don't approve of the whole the the cow factories or the pig factories,
No. No.
but there's a lot of farmers out there that don't do this. They
There
have
is.
their animals in ranges and they run around and they eat grass and stuff like that.
Yep.
Those are fine.
Yeah. They're not in little, like, cells like in a barn, and each one goes in, and
Hmm.
those, when you go to a fair, most cows are brought into one of those, the corrals that each one gets put in. But
Yeah.
some people keep their cows like that 24/7, 365 days a year, and that's very, very sad.
Oh yeah.
They need to walk around, and yep. And then the what things that are going on today with all these countries against one another. Do you think that, the sabotage and the tampering of food is a main concern too, with all the cyber attacks against companies?
Yeah.
Where they tamper
Always
the
a
food?
thing. Yeah.
Yeah. You think there's more of that now than there was before?
Um. Yeah, but we don't hear about it.
Hmm.
They're like the ransom things. Um. There's thousands of them. Uh. Oh, probably 100,000s or a million of them a year, and or those are the ones that never get reported because they don't want to um, seem weak and whatever to where they'll get attacked more.
Well, they're actually calling this agro-terrorism now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Mhm.
against our people's agriculture.
and it's a lot of it happened with the grains um, because we're already short on the grains and stuff like that. Um, there's like the shipments and stuff like that being diverted and all that stuff and the grain silos just booming for no reason.
Right.
Yeah, that's fishy stuff, and they don't report any of this stuff, which I kind of understand why it's not reported, um, but then you have people that are everything's hunky dory and stuff, and our food is wonderful, and
Hmm.
Biden's a wonderful guy.
Sure.
It's almost like there's some people living a sheltered life, and there's some people that um, that have been awake. I don't mean like the woke people, the awake people.
Right. Yeah, I believe that this is definitely a rising problem. So the title of your live stream is very fitting for today
Mhm.
Yeah.
and going forward.
Yeah, I go to some odd websites that, and when I seen story on top of story on different websites about different foods and different how they are grown and stuff like that, it going to the store and buying food now is
It's a chore.
it's like, oh man, you got to read the labels, and you got
Yep.
bioengineered this and bioengineered. Of course, that's already been here for years, but now they have to label it.
Label it, and now you're seeing it in more and more foods.
Yeah, and
Now, noticeable. Yeah.
it just makes you, oh, that's in here now. No, it's
It's a
already been
chore.
there.
It's a chore, and it's become gross now.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's almost easier to make your list days before and then go through everything that you need to go grab. And if you can
Yeah,
make it at home, of course, you gotta even check those ingredients of your natural ingredients that you use at home, your flour, your sugar, where does it come from? What's it got in it? I mean, you have to
yeah,
dissect every meal that you're making for you and your family. And I mean, I'll be honest, in this household, I mean, we haven't completely given up, but we'll also buy a bag of Doritos.
yeah,
It may be the cheap kind, but if we're doing a taco salad night and we want those Doritos in there for that cheesy, yummy, crunchy goodness.
got my water over here.
I mean, look at us. We don't want these things in our bodies or feeding it to our families, but how many of us are still, okay, I'm going to get a bag of Doritos this week. I'll be all right.
Right.
But seriously, then it, but does it go any further than that? It shouldn't.
Well, look at, just go to Walmart, or any store for that matter, that have cheap milk. Look at it and then look at the ingredients.
Hmm.
What it should say milk.
Yep.
That's the ingredient. There's like 5, 6 different things, and it's like, what is all this stuff?
Yeah. Yeah.
And some of it says that they add vitamin D to it. I'm like,
Why?
milk already has vitamin D. Why do you have to add it?
Because
Why was it taken out?
because the cows weren't getting it in the amounts that they should have had it being outside in their pasture.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So it's like, take animals when you feed them certain things. And okay, like let's take an insectivore or a carnivore. You're not going to go and give a carnivore a bunch of lettuce and this, that, the other thing, because the animals that they eat, they get it from those sources. So, like, bring it down simple because this is recent for us. We have lizards. So, 2 of our lizards are insectivores, but we need to feed our insects the things that they would get out in the wild in order to keep our lizards healthy. Because if we're not feeding our insects well, the lizards aren't consuming the things that they should. So, feeding your crickets, those vegetables and fruits, then in return, your lizards are getting those. And I know I'm bringing it to lizards and crickets, but it's the same thing with your food to humans and
Yeah.
your food that eats the food. So it's a whole big chain. So if your cows aren't getting the grass and the hay and the good things that they need before they're going to market, you are also not getting the good things, or your milk. You're not getting the nutrients in the milk. And again, exactly, why are they putting all those things in milk? Here we have a dairy that is very close. And at that dairy, so far so good, we're still pretty safe. But dairies outskirts of that dairy are also doing what Bushcraft just said. Why are they putting all kinds of other things in that milk, including hormones?
Yeah.
It's kind of like when you're a carnivore and you want to go turn into vegan. The change of it makes you violently sick sometimes. So it's like eating that kind of food that's been changed or added to and stuff like that. It could make you violently sick. Move.
Hey, Tony. Good to see you. Yeah, and the thing, like I mentioned earlier, Wildlife sent me an article. I had already seen about it last year, but they're stepping it up a notch on them. They just were raided by a government agency, and the thing is, um, they kicked them all out of their property and stuff so that they could um, confiscate and label and put stickers saying that you can't sell it.
Right.
And it's in Pennsylvania. There's an Amish uh, family that sells, milk and different things, eggs,
Oh yeah.
maple syrup, honey, you name it, and they were putting labels saying that you can't sell it,
Yep.
and
I've seen
there
that.
are
Yeah.
all kinds of. It's oh, the fact that they kicked them out and didn't let them film what was going on. That's because when you do, you have the right to see what they're doing. Um, when there's a warrant issued, and the fact that they kicked them all out and then they got the run of the whole place, there's a reason why that you're allowed to be there and and you can have representatives there, meaning a lawyer. That way, you're there to see nothing was placed or planned or anything like that.
Right. That's another thing too. So like people think that, you have these certain people who go into facilities that prepare our food. But the thing is
Hey, Jake.
when they find things wrong with things happening within that company that could affect your food, we don't find out until months or even years later because these
Yeah,
investigations take a long time. And then, of course, to protect the place, there's certain laws in place where they use all their loopholes. So 30 days, they use their 45 days, they use their 60 and 90 days, and before you know it, and these are individually, so months and months later. So like I said, it may be a year and a half to 2 years later before they can bring these companies down. The whole while they're shipping out food to everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And a lot of times they have um, it'll be the same company but with a different name.
Yes.
So the same company will still be using everything that they just did with the other label. Like they're like all the major companies have a secondary label or more that they have. Um, they'll run like we'll make it just a can of corn. They'll run the same can of corn and put different labels on it, and one will be sold for twice as much, and one will be like half the price.
Well, a
But
good
it's the same company.
Right. Well, I mean, a good example to that is every grocery store has their name brand stuff.
Mm-mm.
So, like one grocery store, all of their grocery store named brand stuff is from like a cereal is all from maybe General Mills, but another
Mm-hmm.
store maybe Kellogg's. Just like your laundry detergents, one may be using all, the next one may be using Gain, the next one may be using Tide, but that's that relabeling that Bushcraft is talking about.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And that's a lot of times when you see a recall for something, there'll be the name brand, and then there'll be 10 different other different labels underneath of it, because it's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when you buy a box of your frozen breakfast sandwiches, you've got eggs coming from here. You've got the English muffins or whatever. It's surrounded by your biscuit coming from there. You got your meat coming from this company, and you've got 3, 4, 5 different companies in the mix in one freezer box of breakfast sandwiches.
Yeah, that's like the hamburger. When they'll take scraps from hundreds and thousands of different cows, and they grind it all up together. So if one cow in all those thousands of cows has a cold or a disease or whatever, it gets ground up all together,
It's too
so
late.
that all that meat is tainted.
Yeah.
And they spit it out in these fancy tubes and whatnot. You're not eating one cow, you're eating from like 1,000 different cows.
Yep.
That's
All
crazy.
mixed together.
Yeah. Hey, ER.
Good morning, Eric.
Good morning, Eric. Eric and I cabin in the woods.
Meanwhile, I'm making
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of the cheap stuff that you think is the lower grade stuff is exactly the same thing as the high price.
Yep.
They that's how they control a market of, if they sell just a can of corn, they'll spit through thousands of cans, and they'll put a percentage of it for the higher stuff, and then the off-brand names and the low budget names.
Yeah.
Yep. My grandfather used to work on the machines that would fold the boxes for other like store brands names of like different kind of foods and stuff, but it all came from the same place. He always told me it's all the same stuff, just that it's either extra or somebody bought into it and they use all the same stuff, foods or whatnot.
Yeah, I've seen that too. That's some gross stuff.
Yeah, yuck.
Yeah.
And I instead of watching the news and stuff, I'll go and look at some of the recalls and see if I see a trend in a lot of it. And of course, right now a lot of it is the listeria.
Yes.
That's it's listeria this, listeria that. And I see a lot of products coming from Canada, all places that are being recalled because of listeria.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And it's a trend. I'm not saying anything bad about Canada or anything. It's just why is this a trend all of a sudden? Because it used to be us, not them.
More and more products are starting to come, like you said, from Canada here.
Yeah,
I've noticed that.
It's we've noticed a rise in products from Canada in our stores.
Yep.
So,
Everything from produce to a box of cereal.
but there's things that are allowed here for consumption that are not allowed there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just putting that out there.
yeah.
Makes you think, why is that?
Just like all countries overseas, there's no grocery stores or anything that will the government won't allow chickens that come from the United States. I've said this before, and it's the main reason is because they're actually washed in bleach. our chickens are washed in bleach
Mm-hmm.
to get all that stuff off of them, so that it's less chance of us, catching E. coli and whatnot.
Mm.
I mean,
Oh, man.
they're so-called washed off afterwards, but how much of that residue is still on there when you eat it?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, your simple animal, I call it the Animal Planet dish liquid of wash. Well, Dawn dish liquid has bleach in it because it says right on the bottle, do not mix with
Ammonia.
ammonia
Yeah.
because
Yep.
there's amounts of bleach in that where one bottle may have more than the other.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Ark, good to see
I
you.
like wild.
I think that, but I love meat too much.
What was that?
I would love. Chicken Noodle says she's thinking about becoming a vegetarian.
Well, goodness.
You gotta. It's a hard thing to do because you gotta make sure you do other supplements that you would have gotten from meats.
Well, I mean,
You know.
even the veggies have their own, they have their own world of issues there.
Yeah,
Oh.
just like with the applesauce and
Crisscross applesauce.
millions of those pouches. That's how do you get that far and let it go that long before?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what? These kids are acting weird all of a sudden. How long do they have to eat this stuff and then for it to? Oh, what have you been eating? And then they go through and apple, and then they find it. How does it take so long before that's found out?
Well, because of all the red tape that they have to get into to start investigating these
Yeah,
things. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It actually is a process that people don't realize. So when you're hearing about this, I mean, and some people may think, oh, this is an old thing. Yes, it's an old thing, but they're finding newer levels still happening. So this is still going on. They have not fixed it.
yeah, and
Yep.
the thing is, these companies get insurance just for that.
Mhm.
If a bunch of people get deleted because they ate some tainted stuff, their families will sue the company. Oh, it's okay, we have insurance for that. And who cares? It's just brush it under the rug and move on.
It's sad that it's come to that.
Yeah, and there's that food that gets imported over here, because I've reported on this before about certain things that would come over, and it's supposed to be inspected when it comes in, and then it's supposed to be inspected and a label put on it from the FDA. Sometimes they release it before it ever gets inspected, and then they find out, oh, it had something in it, so it's being recalled. By then, maybe 10% gets recalled, if that. The rest of it's already been ate, and the people got sick or choked on a piece of metal or whatever.
Right.
Oh yeah, but it still tastes good. But like True Grit, they 80 to 90% of their food comes from their homestead.
Right.
They know everything that goes into those cows. They milk their cows and butcher their own pigs, and they make their own bacon, the whole 9 yards. They know what they put. They make their own compost, and which they have a different way of doing their compost, which is awesome. Hey, gardening prepper. I'll get it.
Guardian Fitness.
Yeah, same guy.
Hello. It's still really super windy here.
Did you guys just hear that noise?
Yeah, it was the day after. I don't know if it is today or not, but
Yeah,
yesterday. And this was yesterday after the big storm came through.
Mm-hmm.
We had tornadoes touch down, and I don't know how they determine it or anything like that, but there's people saying that we had it in this county, but it was never registered. I don't know. Do they come out and test the ground? Oh, a tornado touched that spot.
It usually takes 2 to 4 days, sometimes a week, to get somebody out to actually see what EF it was.
Yeah, because the one over in Springfield, they said, yeah, that was a tornado that touched
Right.
down there.
We've had tornadoes just a mile down the road, but not last night. But I'll tell you, these constant winds blew down whole trees over our mountain roads last night. We were headed home when it wasn't the worst of it. The worst of it was when we got home. It was like as soon as we got through our door is when things really got real over here. But that's scary to say because on our way home, we were seeing whole trees down into the road.
Yeah,
One
I
last
was expecting it. A lot of it had already got cleaned up because I made the Bushcrafty talks and I just showing the road, and I expected to see a lot of trees down, but there wasn't that many. That's and a lot of people in this town complain because anytime a tree, like you could have a whole tree that had green leaves all over it, except for one branch that had 3 brown ones. Oh, it has to go down.
Yeah.
you know, and they start taking all these trees down, and then they wonder why people's roofs are blowing off their house, and they don't have shingles left after a storm.
There's no
It's
tree
because
protection.
there's no trees to block that wind or
Right.
reduce it.
Yeah. They think the answer is to get rid of all the trees. It's not. And then you're creating a bunch of other problems because you don't have enough trees.
Yeah.
Yep. No, my toilet and my kitchen sink keeps on making that gurgling noise and blooping because of the wind going down the stink pipe. You know, your exhaust for the septic.
Mm-hmm.
It was blooping last night. I was like, boil.
You might want to crack a window.
Yeah, definitely.
No, there's no, well, I mean, there could be gases, but I don't smell anything. But still, it happens every now and then. And it sounds like somebody's constantly knocking at the kitchen door over here because the wind's rattling it. It's just like, I thought Devin was at the door because then he calls and I'm like, okay.
Hi,
Chris.
Chris.
He might have that job. He went for the interview this morning.
Chris Piat was in here and she says, see y'all later. Gotta go. Yeah, no.
Have a good day.
Have a good day, Chris.
It didn't work out well for the Lorax either. Nope. Yeah, we've got trees and branches down everywhere, all over the roads. We had last night on the way home, it looked like somebody's car got hit by a tree and parts of the tree were still in the road. It was pretty insane.
Wow.
Yeah, the only part of tornado I was in, it was in a parking lot, and I thought it was cool because I got to spin around in a circle, but everybody else was freaking out.
Yeah, no, I know what's causing the gurgling because it depends. You can see which direction because whichever way the leaves are rolling across my backyard on where the wind's going. When it goes one way, it makes the gurgling noise. When it goes the other way, it doesn't do it.
Yeah. Mary, look, I talked to TJ yesterday. She's doing good. She's working and moving up where she's at.
Moving on up.
And her son is home, and they got another whole world of stuff going on now. So
Yeah,
still keep them in your prayers, please.
absolutely.
But other than that, she's doing great.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we still got all the farmers over there still having issues. And I think the last time I mentioned about the farmers overseas,
Be right back.
I did have a person comment, well, that's over there. Who cares? The thing is, we get food from them. You may not think that we grow and produce all of our food here. That's not the case. We do produce a lot of food here. A lot of the food we produce gets sent over other places because we can buy it cheaper from another country to bring it in, which shouldn't be a thing, but it's a thing.
Yeah.
And what's to say those issues that they're having, we're not having, but we are. It's just you're not seeing it as much because our media doesn't say anything about it. The media only puts what they think everybody should, or what they're told to put out, I should say.
Like I've always told people, if you're interested in knowing something, you have to go and seek it out and research and find these things yourself. Because, yeah, your big box media, is that what it's called? I don't know. Because they do. They literally keep it all in a box.
Yeah.
Your big box media is not going to put these things out. So if you want to research about certain things, you need to type these things into your servers, different servers, many servers. And then as you research, you have to go around debunking for yourself all this stuff and then come to your own,
Yeah. And it's always, if you come across a farmer, ask them.
Yeah.
They'll be happy to tell you how it is.
Get it right out of their mouths. Yep.
Yeah.
The ones going through it firsthand like that.
Yeah. Not too long ago, I had talked to some farmers when there was the cow issue thing that was going on, and yeah, they told me a totally different story than what the media was saying. That all those cows died because it was too hot out, global warming, yeah.
Hey, Jerry.
Those cows are made to be out in the heat and stuff. They've been bred for that, and they always have water to drink and everything. It was something else.
Yes, it was. In my opinion, it was intentional. Bless you. Oh, Robert's heading out to the dump.
I used to love going to the dump.
I used to love going to the dump too because we had bears at our dump, but we don't have the bears at the dump anymore because because stupid people, out of towners, out of staters would come and think they were funny and they ruined it for everyone, including the poor bears.
Yeah.
We used to call it the bear dump. We didn't even call the dump by its name. It was just, you want to go to the bear dump? Yeah.
You used to be able to get all kinds of goodies in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
You used to unload stuff and end up with more than we left with.
I remember my mom and my stepdad used to do that too. That's so funny. I guess, yeah, we weren't the only ones who did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, people throw away a lot of stuff that's not bad.
He says now, Doc. Hey, Bear. Yeah, we talked about that yesterday or the day before about the wildfires
Yeah.
in Texas.
I think I mentioned it yesterday real
On
quick
Crazy,
because I didn't look into it too much.
yeah, on Crazy Irish's stream, we talked about the wildfires.
Just real briefly.
It doesn't
Yeah.
surprise me all that's going on in Texas right now. It does not surprise me one bit.
Yeah. And it's the thing is, it's look over there thing.
Yep.
Yep. Distraction.
Yes, someone's else's junk is someone else's treasure. Of course.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've picked up all kinds of junk, brought it home, fixed it up, still using it today.
Because it's Leap Day, you can get 50-cent double cheeseburger through the app at McDonald's. Not that I'm eating that.
They've been doing more and more of that, by the way.
Yeah.
What?
McDonald's.
Oh, McDonald's. Shitdonald's.
Yeah, and people like, oh, they have the best fries. I'm like,
Do they actually know what the fries are made from?
Burger King.
Like with?
or fried in?
Yeah.
When you
It's
haven't cleaned
synthetic
out,
oil.
when you haven't vacuumed or cleaned out a certain part of your truck in 2 or 3 years, and you find a French fry that looks as good as it did on the day 3 years ago you bought
Yep.
it, you might want to
Not a
question
second
it.
old. Does it look dry and crispy? It still looks moist and fresh and like it just came out of the fryer later.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jeff tells that story
Nothing to it,
about that guy finding a hamburger in his pocket 20 years later, and it still looked like it was when he bought it.
Good Lord, no,
It'd be
yucca.
really strange. And don't get me wrong, I'm one of those who'll be like, you know what, question this stuff. But every now and then I'll actually put a little bit of that stuff in my mouth too. Yep. Sorry, but I do. I'm just being honest.
Wendy's and Krispy Kreme have specials too. Oh,
Foreign place.
It's
Devin just said it was that in some other
Foreign country.
some foreign country, there's what?
A museum for the last McDonald's ever there, and they have a box with a cheeseburger and a drink in it, and it's still
And it still looks perfectly fine. Yuck.
How about the French fries though?
I don't know.
It's still golden
They're
crispy.
probably still in there. I didn't look. I just saw the burger.
That's just yuck. Hey, Gigi.
yeah. You know these because I've been looking into it a lot with the diesel engines and everything from ambulances and stuff. A lot of those can run on vegetable oil, that use vegetable or not vegetable oil, but whatever they use in the fast foods, except for McDonald's.
Yep.
Diesel engine
Won't run on McDonald's oil.
Devin was saying he heard something about diesel gas having trouble with like there's going to be a shortage of it or something like that again.
I've heard that too. And it's
Oh, it's the stuff that they put in it. We talked about it before. D2, is it called D2?
that sounds
Something like
familiar.
It sounds familiar, yeah. It's what? It's to keep it running smooth or something, or that type of stuff.
It's something that they add into it. I forget. There's somebody in chat will know.
Probably preventive measure to keep the engine running longer or last longer.
Well, old school diesel, my old truck, you had glow plugs. You had to plug it in at night. So
Well,
when-
that's to start it up.
Yeah, that's when
that-
it was like real cold out.
cold starting. Yeah,
Diesel.
Is that- there was a vehicle that I was going to look at that needed glow plugs or changed.
Mm-hmm.
Depending unless it's really cold, you don't need it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. If
It's
it's
just
free,
harder to start.
Sorry, it took me a minute to get up here. I went to look for the email that you sent out, and it went to spam.
That's weird.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well,
So I unspammed it. I de-spammed you. You don't have to be sitting in that gelatinous yuckiness anymore. I de-spammed you.
I wonder if that's what happened to Earl the other day. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I added him on there too.
Yeah, and we've all gotten those emails before, so I'm wondering if it was an update with an email for certain.
Right.
Good show you had on the other day. That well, it was yesterday, Wednesday. Yeah,
Hey,
Hey,
Chris.
Hey, Cryptid.
my days are mixed up.
Hey, TH2. Hey, Gigi. Woohoo. Gigi said Wendy's and Krispy Kremes are having those specials too today, the 50-cent like things.
Yeah.
There you go.
Have you ever met anybody that had their birthday on birthday today?
I
On
know
leap
a
year?
couple of people who have their birthday on today, and they swear that they're like not as old as we all are.
No.
I'm only 12.
Yeah. It's fun. It's all in good fun.
You want to tell me one?
yeah.
Oh gosh.
My dad used
That's
to
a yearly,
swear up
right?
and down. He was born on leap year, and I said, no, that's February 29th, not January 29th.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, I don't know why there's a confusion about that. I've heard other people say that before too. And I'm like, no, it's February, not January. I wonder where that confusion came in.
I don't know.
Spell.
I wonder if when did that leap year thing come around? Here,
It seems like Bigfoot
this
and
is
I
like
just had this conversation with the kids, and I forgot actually.
When was leap year invented?
uh,
Julius Caesar.
what 50
40.
BC or
Yes.
500 BC?
Yes, it goes back to biblical times. Yes,
I
that's
got
really?
46 BC.
that part I knew, but I don't remember why it happened. Yeah, Josh and Allie were just talking about this just like last week.
Oh, this one says 45 BC.
This one I see says 46 BC from Roman dictator Julius Caesar.
Yeah, the original was 500 BC. The Roman Republican calendar consisted of 12 lunar months,
Oh, wait.
totaling 355.
Why was
About
there no
10
leap?
days shy of a solar year.
Huh. And then there's a thing asking why was there no leap year in 1800? Later on calendar, yet to come, it will decrease the year divisible by 100, not follow the 4-year leap day rule unless they are divisible by 400. Huh. It's math.
You know, by math, we actually have 13 months, not 12.
Did you guys hear that one? I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah, the 13 and the 12 thing.
yeah, that goes back. Goes back to the Bible too.
Yeah. Yes. So the leap year thingy has to do with math. Math. With some water.
Yeah, it's weird how they did time and stuff back then too.
Mm-hmm. Hey, grape jams and camel Carl. Woohoo.
Miss Grape Gems and Mr. Camel Carl. I was gonna call him Miss Camel.
Mr. Camel.
I say Mrs. Grape Gem. Boy.
And say hi to Christy Baum. She's T-E-A.
Yes, that's the Thrifty Endeavors and Adventures tea.
T.
Oh, that's a mouthful. Christy Baum. That's gonna take me a minute to get used to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know it took me a minute, a couple of times to look at it. I'm like, oh, wait a minute now, remember?
That was like my name that I had with the Adirondack or the
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why
Yes.
I was saying, where's Watt at? He's the one that usually explains this stuff.
Yep, he's good at that one. Yes, please, come on up. I'm gonna have to do my membership again.
What was in because they have a thing for every day of the year now. Because I remember when it was, I remember when it was Abraham Lincoln Day and George Washington Day, and those were holidays when
Right.
they squished them all into President's Day. And you would just have normal holidays, but now you have a thing for every day.
76 cents.
Where you have like international popcorn and international Pop Tarts and international. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's something for everything.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Grape Jams wants to know what's going on with our food.
What isn't going on?
Yeah.
Which is why it's all the more important that the Vineyard Chicks and Bushcraft and a whole lot of people are getting in on this collab, is because saving seeds is going to be a main part of that. And even if you're not in the collab, and still watch and listen, because we're all going to be learning lots of different things. And just because you're not didn't get sent seeds, or you might be growing your own garden, and you can still learn through other people on what to do with these things and save seeds. Because more and more they're starting to I don't even know the words for what they're doing to our seeds. All right, let's take this purple tomato that they're making really deep purple by adding the snapdragons to it. Okay, so snapdragons are edible. Your tomatoes are edible, but some people may not want that. Some people may not want genetically modified seeds. Okay, genetically modified. This didn't happen in your own garden like it did to us, where you're getting pink beef hearts because our pink ox hearts cross-pollinated with our beefsteaks. That happens in our own gardens by accident or by our own.
Well, it's not an accident. That's
right.
The way
But
it's
when
supposed to be.
Right, but when they're putting things in the lab to genetically modify,
change the DNA of something.
Change the DNA and take out and put in, and they're mixing things with things. You may not be doing that in your garden, but let's say I live next door to Bushcraft and I wanted to get all these GMO seeds, okay? While he wanted a bunch of heirloom seeds, because it was really important for him to keep his great-grandmother's or great-grandfather's or great-great-grandfather's seed lines, But your next door neighbor, let's just say that's me, and I'm just throwing a bunch of junk into my garden, and things with the wind happen to go over and cross-pollinate with his 100 of years of seed line plants. That's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I got a little hyper on that.
Yeah, and you'll see. I'm sure everybody's drove down the road or country road where there's a farm, and there's a sign saying that these seeds are so and so GMO'd or engineered from this or whatever, and they have to have that sign up there now because it's Like if somebody a block down the road gets cross pollinated with some of that stuff, their seeds are shot. You know, their whole crop is whenever they go to harvest those seeds, if they do, they can't use them because they're tainted with that GMO stuff. And that's where it sucks.
Exactly.
And I've heard, you know, farmers getting into it with each other. One was using something, other one was using something else, and they no. There's court cases on it from cross pollinating
So, I mean,
from this newfangled seeds.
right. And I mean, you may be doing all the things to protect yourself or protect others from doing what they're doing or you're doing. However, you got wind, you got rain, you got different kinds of storms. Hello, StreamYard Stalker. But the thing of it is, we have weather that also affect how these things can travel over to your garden or grow in areas where you have cattle or, you know, your chickens or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, that's like the people who, oh, I'm totally organic and I do, I'm vegan and all this. You're not really.
No.
No.
If you buy stuff from, unless you grow it yourself, and have it in a net to where you don't, there's a lot of animals that are killed to make a farmland, and you may well, they're not out there actually, you know, with the pew pew shooting and deleting animals and stuff. Some do, but the fact that they clear a space of land that these animals used to eat in, and it's no more. They have to go somewhere else, or they die off.
Right.
Those animals and insects die from these big farms.
Yeah. And Grape Jans makes a good point. I think we're did the change or staying away from the Roundup either was bothering our family. Yeah, well, that's another thing. Did you know they're making seeds now for your garden and other plants that can withstand levels of certain metals and pesticides like Roundup?
Mm-mm.
I mean, I'm sorry if your vegetables and fruits and other plants are withstanding those conditions, do you want to eat that? I'm just putting that out there. I mean, that's I mean, you think your plant's okay. Yeah, it looks beautiful. It's been sitting in Roundup, but it looks good. So how would anyone know unless they knew that?
Yeah.
Insect netting or some.
Because I mean, usually if a plant starts showing signs of certain things, you're going to go and you're going to test your soil and all kinds of stuff, right? You know, you might stop watering. You might water a little bit more. You might add this or add that. Meanwhile, you've got a seed that is designed.
Don't give them any ideas. They'll be making those next so they can pick the green beans at night.
Well, no, I've done a video on that. Remember, they already made glow in the dark plants.
Oh yeah.
People were reading by the glow in dark plants. So they were in a room full of glow in the dark plants, and they had a book and they were reading at the light of their glow in the dark plants. I forgot what that was called. It wasn't the bioluminescence. It wasn't that naturally. It was something that was modified in the plants to make them grow.
Well,
glow, I mean.
I did the thing about the fish farm. I forget what they call them. But they changed the DNA of it to be salmon, but bigger. They crossbred it with another fish to make them bigger. I think a carp or something like that.
Right.
And to be like whatever disease that they can catch and stuff, they made them immune to that disease. And this is going on. That's where our salmon will be coming from in Ohio,
Yeah.
up north.
Wow.
And it's all, like I said, they change the DNA and they make a new fish, a perfect fish for feeding people.
Right.
And then down the road, it could be 20 years. Oh, we found out that, whoever ate this fish, they have fins behind their ears and stuff.
like a axolotl. See, here we have lake salmon, but then there's the Atlantic salmon, which is a saltwater salmon.
Yeah.
We have freshwater salmon here. We got something playing in the background.
Oh, turn it down. They can hear it. Okay, sorry.
Hey, Andrew. My cousin Jake won't. What?
I
I
Yeah, I
don't
would look and see if the oatmeal has made it to the United States yet. The bad oatmeal.
Yeah.
And I'm looking. I still don't see it. I see the applesauce thing.
That's where I'm glad that we stocked up on oatmeal. So we're still eating old oatmeal
Yeah.
until they get it figured out.
And here's another one from Canada for frozen corn. Why are we getting frozen corn from Canada?
Right?
Oh, here it is. Quaker products recalled in Canada over some. It's not all over yet still. Yeah, it's just Canada now, huh? But overseas and over there was a big thing about the Quaker oats. The cereal and everything was all contaminated. And they recalled, and a lot of the countries were banning it now because it's been going on for a long time
Mm-hmm.
and not being told to anybody.
Frankenfish.
But evidently it hasn't happened here yet, so I don't know.
Medical shortages.
Yeah, Bushcraft and Bear talked about that the other night. I think it was on.
Yeah.
My pharmacist says that there's going to be a lot of shortages on certain things, and they're trying to make a deal with Canada for us to literally get some of the prescriptions is cheaper.
Well, a lot of people already do that because it's cheaper.
Yeah. My mother did it with her stomach medicine. All you need is a script from your doctor, and you just do that mail script with a certain website, and then there you go.
Yeah, a lot of your diabetic medicines come from Canada that people get.
Ring, ring, banana phone.
Banana phone.
Was it Jeff?
Is it a strike that's going on right now?
What?
Is it a strike?
What? In Kentucky?
Yeah.
Oh, they're not has some bill that takes away the mandatory after 6 hours take a lunch break and whatnot. They're trying to take that away basically.
Yeah, by the way, my daughter's fine. She made it out of surgery and everything good.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Excellent.
But she was telling me about her son. What my grandson said, he diagnosed with ADHD,
Mm-hmm.
and they went to go get his prescription, and it'll be a month before they can get it.
Yep. Yep. My
Yeah.
friend, she has even some of the antidepressants medication. There are major holds on those. She had to wait a couple weeks, which then it screws you up because it takes, even with the ADHD, for those types of medications, it takes about a month or more to get into your system to work properly.
Yeah.
So to take a break for about a month or even a week, it you have to start all over again, and it screws everything up.
Yep. And that you can go to the FDA and find the list,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll say what shortages there are. And there's another website that says how far backed up certain prescriptions are or medications.
Yep.
And
I needed that. My
ooh, there
stepdaughter,
like
my old one.
some cancer medications that
Mm-hmm.
get rid of the cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Those are like 6 months to a year backed up.
Yep.
And I hate to say it, but there's a lot of people don't have that long.
No, I know. My insulin was one. I was going to switch back to the regular pharmacy instead of getting the prescription through the mail thing.
Yeah.
And my pharmacist at CVS told me not to switch yet because they actually don't have any in stock for one of my insulins.
Yeah.
I'm like,
That
yeah,
was
I
another
already knew about that.
diabetes medication was one. Antibiotics is another one. So that's where, learning about the herbs and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
even if you never use it, but have the knowledge of it. That way, if you already have the plant sitting out in your yard and you don't have your prescription, if you do your research and stuff, it could save your life,
Mm-hmm.
depending, what it's all about.
That is really good, Graceful Dave. Some people can change that. I can't. With the diabetes, I'm a type 1, which means my pancreas is shot from making any type of insulin for any part of my body at any second. I can't make any more. So
Yeah.
I'm insulin dependent. So for those who can get off of being a type 2, which is usually just how you have to change your diet, and you're pretty much both of them are a lifestyle change anyway. But if you can change your diet and do different things to get yourself out of being a type 2, then do it, because it will benefit. Because even some of the medications for type 2s are horrible and are out of stock.
Yeah.
But I mean, I can help. Yeah, I you guys all know me. I do gluten-free and dairy-free anyway when I can, which is quite expensive, but that has helped along with my sugars. But there are ways to help your sugars in general anyway. It depends on what you eat, totally. But hey, Victoria G.
Well, thank you for dropping by. I appreciate it. And watching my shorts. Oh, that sounds weird.
Thanks for watching my short video.
There you go. That's better.
But I think the way that I became a type 1 diabetic, for one, it runs in my genes, and my hormones kind of screwed up, pushed out. But two, was throughout the years, we all know that throughout the years, they've changed things in foods and added more flavorful things, into the ingredients, and more fake stuff, and it kind of screws you up.
Yep. Because, 50 years ago, there wasn't half the stuff that's wrong with people. Look at the milk, the lactose intolerant.
Mm-hmm.
what was that? Nobody knew what that was 50
Right.
years ago.
Yep.
All these other the gluten things and
Mm-hmm.
all the weird stuff that different types of food that they have now.
And to eat the gluten-free food is even worse. It's gross. You ever look at the ingredients in the back?
Yeah,
The box, it's absolutely disgusting. For one, it's horrible for a diabetic because 90% of it is made with rice flour and tapioca flour. That spikes your sugars up.
and the natural flavors that are in that. If you
Mm-mm.
ever do find out what the natural flavors are in that, it's not very natural.
Beavers and duck.
That's some of those chemicals. If you can repronounce them,
Uh-oh, grape
where
jams.
you type them in and find out what they're. Well, even the colors.
Yeah.
You know, like on Skittles, one of the colors was causing cancer.
Yep.
It had been in there for years.
Uh-oh. Everybody help Grape Jams out. She's lurking and looking for coffee. Dun, 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 dun,
Uh-oh.
dun. Uh-oh. When somebody says that they're looking for coffee.
Catch you later, T.
Bye, T.
Wherever you are.
Stay out of trouble.
I know I gotta go in a few too. I gotta get ready. My ride's here. I'm gonna go back out and do a couple of things again. Yay.
Yeah, I just wanted to, with all the food things that
Mm-hmm.
I was up this morning. I was reading these articles, one after another one was talking about the food and the fact that we have all these orchards, but we're getting our apples from another country and making this applesauce, and it's got lead in it. Why? Why are we getting it? And what is were they cooking it in lead pots, or is it in the soil, or what? It's
Well, I remember when my kids were little, I was always told not to give them too much apple juice because there's so much arsenic in it.
well, that's normal.
Common, yeah, it's
That's
normal
because they
the way they
and
process it, right?
yeah, they process the seed and everything, and
Mhm.
sometimes that they don't get it doesn't get strained out all the way. That's why, whenever if you're doing it at home, you always decore the apple.
Yep. That's why I mean after when I would hear that, I would literally make my own apple sauces, apple juices, make sure everything's cleaned out, cored out.
Yeah, I used to think that was oh man, those are weird conspiracy people out there that think we're
Yep.
spraying stuff in the sky, and then you happen to look up one day and you see patterns in the sky. It's like, well, that's a really full coverage of smoke trails going back and forth.
It's like playing tic-tac-toe in the air.
And it's like that's not normal. Yeah, it's
Drink, eat. Okay.
some of the stuff that you used to think about that was those crazy people,
Conspiracy.
Well, they used to call the prepper people crazy, and now hey, you guys aren't so weird after all.
Right. Now we're kind of getting noticed in a good way instead of a bad way.
Yeah. Well, it's still a bad way, actually.
Right. Yeah, it is.
They want people to report somebody that buys too much food.
Yep.
And the majority of, I think, a good reason Preppers got a bad name was the show.
Oh, what was it? Doomsday Preppers?
Yeah. As soon as
Yep.
that, I thought it was, oh, that's going to be a cool show. And I'm
Mhm.
like, this guy's nuts.
They're
What?
showing the wicked nut ones, and then the one mixing them in
Yeah.
with the ones that are actually preparing for actually something that could happen, just in case. But then you got the ones that are going overboard and extreme,
Oh, yeah. That's,
like the guy that was building the castle.
he wasn't too bad, but his beliefs was
Yeah, that's what I
the
mean.
idea of the castle for his whole family and stuff. But wow, he went way out there.
Yeah.
There's that guy that lived in his bunker all the time.
And then
That
you get
some of his ideas was okay, but his beliefs and stuff was, woo.
simple people like the Hatfield and McCoy families that will remember it was one of those. It was either
Oh
the
yeah,
Hatfield or the McCoy family, but they did it because that's how they were raised, and it was basically doing regular food prepping.
that
And
was called a homesteader.
yeah, regular homesteaders. Yep. But they mixed all these people in with them that fell in the category, yes, but they weren't too
Yeah,
a lot weirder.
I seen a guy talking about people from the city here lately, because of the thing that happened in 2020.
Yep.
Everybody wanted to be farmers, and he says, well, they kind of get it mixed up between a farmer and a homesteader.
Mm-hmm.
And homesteaders are wanting to prepare their food for, later dates and stuff. A
Yep.
farmer is in business to sell his food to companies. And he said that's totally different, because these people come out and wanting to buy this property and become farmers, and it was millions of dollars. And then the whole off grid thing. Yeah, I've got Bush Radical. He gets a kick out of these people that call themselves off gridders.
Mm-hmm.
And they have electricity, or they have a well. Some use generators, and he said that's just as bad as being on the grid, because you have to go to the store and buy it and then fill your tanks up.
Yep. Yeah, Devin's gonna take my spot for a minute. I have to go. Talk to the people, Devin. Why? Why?
Yeah, it all depends, and I don't see the reason to critique somebody because they have electricity and they call themselves off gridders or something like that.
There's always solar.
Yeah,
You know,
and technically, and some people think that solar is not off grid either. To me,
Well-
off grid is to be to where you're not paying anything to another company,
right?
like electricity, gas, or whatever, and you're kind of going to be gridded somehow, be it the mail service. You have to pay taxes.
Right.
You have to go to a store and buy bacon or something, sugar or whatever. There's always going to be that little bit, but if you can reduce that as much as possible,
It's better.
I mean, look, the majority of people that watch this channel, um, 10, 15 years ago, we had cable TV.
All right.
We would watch hundreds of channels. Nowadays, we got rid of the cable because it's, some of the stuff we watch on there. Majority of us we still watch movies and whatnot, but it's for streaming services or free.
Right.
You
Cable's
still
too.
have that internet though,
Yeah.
and watch weird people like me on YouTube.
You're not weird. You're just the right kind of weird, though.
I mean, the word off grid, though, I mean, that's, you got to take it with a grain of salt, pardon the pun. Because, I mean, if you're off grid totally, then you're in communication with no one.
That's
You're
true.
self-sustained, period. I mean,
Yeah.
if you're totally off grid, really off grid, that's it. Lights out. You're on your own.
Yep.
And I don't think a lot of people can do that.
Nope.
So Miss TJ says hello to everybody, and that's all I'm going to say for now. But she's good.
Right,
And
TJ.
she's good and more than good.
You're looking for a place to lay down, aren't you? Come here. Blue's late, walking all over my bed trying to find a place to lay down. There's already 3 other cats on there, so.
Do you have one of those sticky rollers that you roll your mattress or whatever to pick up the hair?
Oh yeah, I got one of the bigger ones.
Right.
It's super wide.
That I can put a stick on there and go. Oh.
You're
Yeah, I was
talking
kinda-
about homesteading, Bush, and TV shows. There's that one guy, I think it's him and his daughter. He's always wearing a cowboy hat. He comes in and helps people fix their homesteads. And,
Oh yeah,
The Rainies.
yeah, that's it,
yeah.
Rainy. But
Yep. Homestead
still,
Rescue.
at the end of the day, whoever and wherever they're working, that's not totally off grid.
Oh
It's
no, they have, and the show is kind of, it's a show.
Right.
It's a reality show, and a lot of it staged. They do have the son. He has a TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
You get to see a lot of stuff behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'll put it that way.
Well, I noticed with the new episodes they have out that they're showing more of what they do behind the scenes, like how actually it's not just them. Everybody
Yeah.
in the beginning always thought it was just
There's
them.
a guy doing the bulldozer and the excavator
There's
and
a
stuff.
whole crew there helping them. I mean,
Yeah.
granted, they're all busting their butts for the first 7 days that they're there, but okay.
Yeah, because they were saying, "Oh, it's just them 3 doing it."
right.
They would do a lot of work in those couple days, and there's like, "Ain't no way." And they would show little bits of like building a house, and it was up in 2 days. It's like, wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
If one guy's off doing this and the other girl is over here doing the garden work,
Yep.
and the father builds a house in 2 days, that's which it make. I like that they show that they have other people helping them. They have a crew.
Yes.
Right.
Yep. I mean, mind you, the stuff that they do is really, it does help a lot with people that don't know what they're doing to
Yeah.
watch, even just to watch it. But
Mhm.
I mean, the hands-on thing is much better, but
It's still dictated by corporate. All of it.
oh
Yeah.
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 But at least it gives good ideas and stuff, and it's
Yeah.
actually things that they have done themselves also, because they'll throw in their 2 cents too,
Right.
you know.
There was Speaking of corporate, remember the car show? Well, he was kind of in cars, but it was called Rick's Restorations. It was one of
Mhm.
those
Oh
like
yeah,
counting
from
cars, and then there was
Vegas. I
Monkey
think they were.
Garage. Yeah.
Yep.
And I saw a backstory on that. His name was Rick too. I forget his last name. And I forget the production company, whether it was AMC or I forget right now, but they wanted him to do things totally different the way he'd been.
Yeah.
And he'd been in business for decades. And he just was like told them to go pound sand because, you know, I think he had like 2 seasons with him, and then all of a sudden, poof, he's gone. And he actually did an infomercial about it and why he did what he did. I think it might even be on YouTube. And said,
Probably,
you know,
yeah.
the production company wanted it a certain way, and you know, so you got to remember that when you're watching a show that the man with the money's the boss. So,
Yep. They got to have them ratings.
yeah.
Are you drinking that coffee again?
I'm having my second cup. Bushcraft don't drink coffee anymore.
What is that?
Oh,
Goya?
Yeah, coconut water.
He's drinking that nut water again.
Yep.
he has drank coffee. He bought coffee, the caramel something.
The macchiato.
Yeah.
That stuff is good. It is good.
It was good. It was in a can too. It was all conveniently in a can. Woohoo!
I will admit though, when I was at the hospital, that Starbucks smelled good.
It does smell good. It does.
There ain't no way I'm going to
Any
spend
kind of coffee
$12
does
for a cup of coffee.
No. I mean, just for a regular cup, I think it was like $4 or $5. My girls got it.
No.
And I'm like, why are you girls wasting your money? We're going home. You just make that at home. They're like,
Yep.
oh, you can't have this and you can't have that. I'm like, well, find a way because that is ridiculous. I mean, my oldest daughter got herself and she's like, Mom, do you want one? I go, no, I will not participate in this. And all 3 of them got coffee and it was like almost $20 for three drinks. I'm
Yep.
like, that is insane.
Mm-hmm.
I can
And then-
solve this whole problem.
Okay.
Get rid of them.
Get yourself a big ass bottle of Bailey's Irish Cream.
Yeah, that's
Whatever drink you're drinking, put a little of that in there. Not a lot. Don't abuse it. Just put a little in there, and then you're set.
a little shot of that at night and a coffee is good, but I haven't had that in years.
I just read that and I was
And
like, ooh.
by the way, I guess I got to change that now. But I'm just going to have the giveaway on April 1st, my birthday. I don't know what day it falls on.
April 1st is okay, yeah. The month tomorrow.
That's tomorrow.
Oh, it's on Monday anyway, so that works out good.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Hey, Devin, your birthday's on a Friday this year. Mine's on Thursday because mine's right after Bushcrafts. Devin,
that was the goal last year to hit 15,000 by my birthday last year, and I didn't come nowhere close to it.
Mm-hmm.
So you were born on April Fool's.
Yeah.
A friend of mine was too. And the whole family thought that they were joking that they had her.
Well, yeah, the doctor tricked my dad because he said had the boy and he said, "Oh, here's another one." A what?
April Fools.
No, April Fools.
Oh gosh.
That's a good one.
I bet he'd been waiting for that for a long time to do April Fools on somebody.
Chicken
I got
noodles.
the perfect April Fool's thing, but I'll wait until the end of next month and give it out to people then.
Yeah,
It involves the bathroom. Let's put it that way.
My daughter, who's in Alabama, called me a couple times, but it's hard for me to fall for an April Fool's. And they tried, and I'm like, okay. I was waiting for it. April Fools, and I'm like, ooh, you got me. Not really, but
Oh, Chicken Little Girl's birthday's coming up. Hers is on March 16th.
I don't have birthdays anymore. I'm done.
Chicken Noodle Girl's gonna be 43. What? I'm jealous.
Just a baby.
Yeah. She's just a baby.
Dang.
I don't know. I think you should always celebrate your birthday.
Yes.
Or it should be celebrated. I mean, I like to mow the lawn on my birthday, but we also do other things. But my birthday is actually shared with our anniversary, so that's always fun.
Oh, Empress is gonna be 39 on the 19th. So, we
So
get the
then
16th.
actually Bigfoot's anniversary gift can be the same as your birthday gift, and he can get away with one gift.
Yeah, we usually go out to dinner,
Okay.
and I usually get plants.
plants.
I like plants,
I
yeah.
know you do.
Yep. Well, it's June 21st, so it's first day of summer, and gardens usually like doing really good by then. And I always got to get like some kind of flower or some kind of edible something. It's always got to be a plant, always.
Boy, a lot of birthdays in March.
Mhm.
There's another one.
And Chicken Noodle Girl said she has a birthday with her cat, so there's another one.
That works.
Declan's
Remember.
up too. The wind is still whipping, and I've got a neighbor from up the hill who owns the private road. Now we don't. And he's already cleaning off the private road from all the sticks and pine cones. So you got some of you have seen some of his big machinery.
Mhm.
He's over here just having a heyday. So if you guys can hear that motor from inside, please let me know, because it's out there and he's just having a grand old time. Yeah, I mean, we've got trees, branches. I mean, every pine cone. If there's a pine cone left up in the tree, I'd be surprised. Our whole yard, you cannot take 2 steps without stepping on a pine cone. Like, good luck putting the first step down. It's everywhere.
I kind of wish my birthday was on 420 in a way.
Declan's is 429.
I can pretend. It's
Sure.
my birthday, 420. Woohoo!
I've always liked my birthday. First day of summer, longest day of the year. It's the longest daylight of the year.
I was told a long time ago, since my birthday is on April Fool's Day,
Uh-huh.
that I get to fool people all year long. So I can say April Fool's,
That's not
in
nice.
December, because I
Yeah.
was born on the day.
Aw.
That's funny.
And then Chicken Noodle Girl's daughter will be 20 on June 20. Yep. My mother and I really confused my grandmother when I turned 47 and my mom turned 74.
So you can just move the candles around.
Yep.
That's funny.
Yeah, I'll always save the candles. That way I could rearrange them for. Why is that one already half melted? That was your sister's last year.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We do some of the number ones where we'll reuse them.
Yeah.
But we usually have those like sparkling fire sticks that sparkle like a sparkler.
Mhm.
And also
Yeah.
those ones where when people blow them out and they keep relighting.
Yeah.
I can't help it. I don't care how old I get. My grandmother was the same way. My grandmother put those on everyone's cake. One time she did it to our mom, like my great grandma. And my great grandma was in her 90s and she was kind of with it, but not. And like the just happened to be the day of her birthday party. She got a little ornery about it. She actually took a knife and started smacking the candles because they kept coming back on, and she mutilated her cake.
That's cool. 1800s banjo. Ooh,
Yeah, I was just reading that.
that'd be nice.
That's cool.
And you know what else was funny? When I was 47 and my mom was 74, she was born in 1947 and I was born in 1974. So that really screwed up my grandmother. Literally. And because our birthdays, she was the day before I was. She was the 3rd and I was the 4th.
Neat.
I am the 4th. I am the 4th. Devin is the 5th.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and shut this down for today.
Yeah, it's almost 2 hours.
This was
Yeah.
very important to talk about. Extremely important to talk about.
Yeah, so watch what you eat.
Yeah, grow a garden.
Exactly.
I mean, it's not like we're going to get away from eating this stuff, because unless you have a homestead to where you raise your own animals, cows and pigs, and do all that stuff yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna, if you grow some stuff in your garden, it'll lessen the amount of crap you're getting in your system.
Mm-hmm. And tomorrow I'll finish planting the rest of my herbs.
Yep, I just got some more seeds, so I got to do some more planting.
Woohoo.
Woohoo.
Yeah, I didn't finish all my transplanting, but I got a lot of it done yesterday. I forgot
They gave me 2 seeds for free.
I got some free seeds this year from a guy that, well, he does his own seeds and packages them out. But I got some free seeds because one of the seeds I ordered, I don't know, it's like gonna be late or something.
Oh. Well, I do know. Well, I don't know, but
The Muffin Man.
Is he going live tonight, Bigfoot?
Bigfoot is going live tonight, I believe. And I think 101 is also going to be live after.
Well, we don't count him until he actually hits the live button. He said that before, and everybody shows up, and it changes the date all of a sudden.
Yeah, so I don't think it's set up that Bigfoot is going live, but I do know that he is. Let me text him real quick. Live tonight.
Oh.
Yeah, tomorrow I'll do another live with the oregano and cilantro. Gotta fluff my dirt tomorrow.
Fluff your dirt?
Fluff your dirt. That sounds so funny.
Fluff my dirt. Yep. Sure, it's warm.
There's your title for tomorrow.
Get your dirt. Get your dirt.
Friday, fluffing my dirt.
Okay, so yes, Dig Deeper Ministry will be live tonight.
Okay, good.
Cool.
Woohoo!
He remembered after leaving for work this morning. He's been really busy. We both have.
Mm-hmm.
Bunch of dirt fluffers.
Dirt fluff.
Really? Have you
Friday fluffer. That's going to be hard to say.
Friday Fluffer Dirt Day?
Okay, okay, Carl. Carl, what kind of fluffer are you?
Yep. Visit me tomorrow. I'll help you fluff your dirt. Sounds bad, but you know.
What?
All right,
Good thing Peanut isn't here, boy. This would go to shit quick.
Oh gosh.
We'll see you guys tonight over at Dig Deeper Ministry. I already know what we're talking about. It'll be Daniel 11.
Yes.
Or we're not through 10 yet, are we?
I think we might be on to 11. Let me check.
Okay.
Yeah, we're on 11. So it's Daniel.
Okay.
Daniel 11.
Yeah. Which is getting the good stuff.
Yes, it is. It's all
Mhm.
good.
And I'll probably be live Friday.
Evening, night.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
I do have somebody planned for the 11th, and I actually got kind of an answer from Lucas Black
Mm-hmm.
about coming to the live.
Nice.
And yeah, he's kind of excited about doing it, but he don't know when he'd be able to. So he'll
Cool.
contact me when he gets a free week. So that'll be cool.
That'd be very good. Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah. And he asked if it's all right if he talks about his relationship with God. And I said, oh yeah.
Want you to.
You
Yeah.
can do it.
And he says he has to ask because, you know,
The way some people are.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm all for it.
Absolutely.
And he asked me how many times have I had to explain what 72 times was about. I said, quite a bit. He said, that's good.
Right?
Anyways, thanks everybody for hanging out, and we will. Oh, he fluffs fabric. We'll catch you guys later.
Bye, guys.
Bye.